What's up, everybody? Welcome to the I'm Just Looking podcast. Today, I'm going to answer somebody's question, which I actually love this question. So we'll just get right into it. So the question is, what is my favorite car movie? Well, I can't narrow it down to just one, to be honest with you. I have a top three. And I know some of you guys are going to say, no way, or there's some other ones. So I want you guys to, send me a message or comment and just let me know what is your favorite car movie. So I'll start with my all-time favorite, and I'll have to rank this one number one. I think I know this is the opposite way, but I'm going to go number one to number three. So number one is Smoking the Bandit, of course, the 1977 Pontiac Firebird. I always wanted this car. I still want this car to this day. Nothing cooler, right? To watch that car as a kid. And I think one of the previous clips I had recorded, I talked about having an '87 IROC, those old school sort of muscle cars, so cool. One of the favorite clips in that movie is when Smokey or the Bandit is in the restaurant and he's eating a sandwich, and sheriff comes in, and the Bandit says to the sheriff, who you chasing? Is somebody chasing you? And the sheriff looks at the Bandit and says, no one's chasing me, boy. Just a funny, funny clip. One of my favorites. I can watch. I don't know how many times I've had to watch Smoking the Bandit 1,000 times. I mean, at least, right? Everybody's watched that. You have to admit that. Such a great movie. So many awesome clips to that part movie. And again, comment about some cool clips that you or parts of that movie that you remember be awesome. Number two, a lot of you guys, especially ones that are younger than me, are never going to remember this movie. I was just talking with some people here just this morning when I was telling them what I was recording, and I mentioned the movie, and they looked at me like they had no clue. And from what I understand, they're coming out with a remake of it, but I don't think it could top it. Tom Cruise was in it. That'd be Days of Thunder, right? You guys remember that? Cole Trickle was, and you know, it's not really necessarily a car on the road, but it's a NASCAR. So many funny parts of that movie. I think one of my favorite movies, and I actually use it in any training or any meetings that I have. And you know, Cole's crew chief was talking to Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise was saying, "I don't know anything about cars. I don't know what you mean by push it, pull it, all that stuff. Turn." He goes, "I don't know what you're talking about." And so the crew chief said, "Listen, we're going to do it." He grabs the tires that he was just on his car, and he says, "We're going to do 50 laps your way, and we're going to do 50 laps my way, and whatever way goes faster, we'll go with that." And turned out to be the crew chief was faster, so he had to listen to the crew chief. And the reason I use that in any sort of meeting is I kind of use that technique, right? You will try your way, no problem. We'll do it 50 laps your way. We're going to try it 50 laps my way, and whichever way works better, we're going to go with that. And when you show the clip of that movie, people understand. But what a funny, funny movie! Also, cool part of that movie is when the two drivers got in an accident. That's not the cool part, right? Obviously, but when they were going to meet with the head of NASCAR, and they had a meeting, and they were supposed to drive together to this meeting. And instead of doing that, they went and got two rental cars, two separate cars, and they drove there. And they smashed the shit out of both cars and to get to the meeting. And after that, they were really close friends. So that's a cool part of the movie too. So many good parts. I'm just thinking about it as we're sitting here talking about it. Number three is a newer movie, and I actually just watched it a couple days ago, and I couldn't stop laughing. Such a great movie, such a great characters in the movie. Is Ford versus Ferrari. You guys have to admit that's such a cool movie having Carol Shelby in it. Just the way that they built a car to win the 24 hours of Le Mans, being Ferrari, which is super cool. Funny parts of that movie. There's a part where he's getting ready to race in the very beginning before they were doing the Ford GT. The trunk space wasn't big enough or whatever, and the trunk didn't close. So he smashes the shit out of the trunk to get it to have more volume. And, funny as hell part of the movie. And then he throws the wrench at the windshield, and they said that, we're going to do something new here or something like that. So, and Carol Shelby actually mounted the wrench onto to the wall. So that's a cool part of that movie. Also, there's a part where Carol Shelby takes Mr. Ford out for a spin in the Ford GT because, he was kind of questioning Carroll's technique and, who we should have as a driver. And so he scares the shit out of Mr. Ford. And he's like, starts crying at the end of it when he's parking, but crying in a good way because he was, sad that his father didn't get to see this amazing fast car that they built. But if you think about Carroll Shelby over the years, the vehicles that he built, and everybody knows about the Shelby Mustangs and all that stuff. So it's so cool. So my top three movies are Smokey and the Bandit, Days of Thunder, and Ford versus Ferrari. So everybody out there, listen, I need you guys to tell me which one of those top three you vote for being the top movie, and then let me know what movies is your car movie, or what car movies are your favorite, and we'll talk about that. I think it should be fun and a little bit of exciting to kind of talk about why they are so important to you. And you can kind of see, a lot of my movies are older movies or based in the older times, which is, to me, the cool times in the car business or the car industry. So again, everybody, please, we're doing a hell of a job liking, following on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Please help subscribe on YouTube, Spotify as well. And shoot me any questions. All right. We'll talk to you soon.